The S block element. Now, what are S block element? Now, those elements in which last electron enters the outermost S orbital. So, the element in which the last electron enters the outermost S orbital, those elements belong to the S block group. Now, since S orbital can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons, therefore the S block has got two groups. Two groups. Group 1 are also known as alkali metals. Why they are called alkali metals? Because their oxide and hydroxide, are alkaline in nature. And the group 2 is alkaline earth metal. And why they are called alkaline earth metal? Because their oxide and hydroxide are alkaline in nature and are found in earth crust except beryllium, because beryllium is an amphoteric. And अब हम ग्रुप 1 और ग्रुप 2 को बारी बारी से पढ़ेंगे। तो ग्रुप 1 को पहले पढ़ेंगे। तो ग्रुप 1 में कौन कौन से एलिमेंट आते हैं? लिथियम, सोडियम, पोटेशियम, रुबिडियम, सीजियम एंड फ्रांसियम. Now, francium is a radioactive element, and therefore we do not worry ourselves with its study. तो हम लिथियम, सोडियम, पोटेशियम, रुबिडियम और सीजियम के बारे में पढ़ेंगे। तो सबसे पहले हम पढ़ेंगे मेटेलिक कैरेक्टर, इलेक्ट्रो पॉजिटिव कैरेक्टर, basic nature of oxide, reducing character, and atomic, radii, and reactivity. All these characters, that is metallic characters, all these properties, that is metallic character, electropositive character, basic nature of oxide, reducing character, atomic radius, and reactivity, all increases down the group. On moving down the group, like from going lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium, all these things increases. Their value increases. Whose values increases? Metallic character, electropositive character, basic nature of oxide, reducing character, atomic radii, and reactivity. And why does it happen? Because let's take the example of sodium. The atomic electronic configuration of sodium is 2, 8, 1. So it got 2 electron, then it got 8 electron, and then it got 1 electron. And the outermost shell, lithium में 2 electron and then 1 electron. So what happens as you move down, number of shell keeps on increasing, but the electron in the outermost orbital remains the same. So the effective nuclear charge keeps on decreasing, and when the effective nuclear charge keeps on decreasing, the outermost electron gets easily removed. Because what is effective nuclear charge? The effective nuclear charge is the tendency at which the nucleus attracts the outermost electron of the element. And as the shell keeps on increasing, but the electron remains one only, so the effective nuclear charge keeps on decreasing, because more and more number of electrons are keep getting added in between the outermost electron and the nucleus. So there is a repulsion, so the outermost electron, the reach of the nucleus become less and less to the outermost electron. Therefore, it gets easily removed from the element as we move down the group. Therefore, the effective nuclear charge decreases. And when the effective nuclear charge decreases, it loses electron. And metal has the tendency to lose electron. So down the group, the electron is lost more easily, therefore metallic character increases. Electropositive nature, metal shows electropositive nature. Now, basic nature of oxide, basic nature of a reducing character. Now, reducing character, oxidation is loss in electron and reduction is gain in electron. So it reduces other by giving them electron and hence has a reducing nature, and atomic radius keeps on decreasing. In basic nature, metal have the tendency to form basic oxide. Metals have the tendency to form basic oxide. So basic nature of oxide decreases down the group. This now we are going to talk about some properties individually. First one being ionization, enthalpy or ionization energy. Now, ionization enthalpy is less of all these elements is less. Ionization enthalpy is less, but it decreases down the group. So the trend becomes lithium has the greatest ionization energy, then sodium, then potassium, then rubidium, and then cesium. Because ionization energy decreases down the group. Now, when ionization energy decreases down the group, it tells that electron can be lost easily. And when electron can be lost easily, all those properties that we discussed above become more become more effective. Melting point and boiling point. Now, melting point and boiling point in the alkali metal decreases down the group. And melting point and boiling point decreases down the group. What does this indicate? This indicate weak metallic bonding, because melting point and boiling point depends basically on the bonding, and melting point and boiling point decreases down the group. That means weak metallic bonding, and weak metallic bonding shows less number of unpaired electron in the outermost orbital, because more the number of outermost electron, unpaired outermost electron, more will be the bonding, and more will be the boiling point. And since the alkali metal has got only one electron in the outermost orbital, therefore they have weak melting point and boiling point, and as you go down the group, the effective nuclear charge decreases, and hence the boiling point and melting point keeps on decreasing. And so what we have talked about the general properties, general trend down the group, and then we have talked about ionization, enthalpy, and melting point and boiling point. So since ionization energy is less and it keeps on decreasing down the group. So since ionization energy is less, the elements they can be moved from the ground state to an excited state by providing sufficient energy as sufficient that it is not as large as ionization energy so that the electron gets removed, but enough to move it to an excited state. So when that electron falls from that excited state to back to the ground state, it liberates energy, and that energy is in the visible range and it shows color. And this tendency is called flame color test. So the alkali metal they show flame color test. Now the color shown by the each element of this alkali metal of the group one, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium. It's important, so you have to remember it. So lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Now lithium shows crimson red, sodium shows yellow, potassium shows lilac or violet, you can say anything. Now rubidium shows red violet, and cesium it shows blue. And because of this tendency, potassium and cesium they are used as electrodes. These are used as photoelectrodes. They are used in photocells to absorb energy and get the electron excited in the excited state and move it to generate electricity. Photoelectrode. They are used in photoelectrode. Now the next is hydration enthalpy. Hydration enthalpy. Now, hydration enthalpy is the energy liberated when 1 mole of an element is completely hydrolyzed. Now, what does hydrolyze means? It means reaction with water. So, when 1 mole of element is completely hydrolyzed, the energy liberated or energy released is called as hydration enthalpy, and it decreases down the group. So, lithium Li plus has got the highest hydration enthalpy, then sodium, then potassium, then rubidium, and then cesium. It becomes the hydration enthalpy. And since lithium has very high hydration enthalpy, therefore allied lithium in aqueous condition is the strongest reducing agent. But in elemental form, lithium is the weakest reducing agent. But in aqueous condition, because of the high hydration enthalpy, the one electron that is very close to the nucleus gets removed, and becomes the highest reducing agent in the aqueous condition. And because of this reason only, sodium becomes the weakest reducing agent in aqueous condition. And now some people might ask that sodium has got the next highest hydration enthalpy than the lithium. Now it's just as bogus as saying that he's less. How do I explain it? Suppose the hydration enthalpy of lithium is 3 kilojoule and sodium has 100, and then the rest has less than 100 joule. So here sodium do have the next highest hydration enthalpy in the group, next highest, the second highest hydration enthalpy, but is way less than the threshold value required to remove that electron from the outermost inner electron. So therefore it becomes the weakest reducing agent in the aqueous condition. Now we are going to talk about some reactions. So first of all, reaction with air. And by air, now air does not only contain oxygen, air has many gases. So we are going to talk about the reaction of alkali metal with two major gases, that is oxygen and the nitrogen. So all all compounds of the alkali metal reacts with oxygen. So lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, all of them react with oxygen. So lithium form monoxide on reaction with oxygen, sodium form peroxide, and potassium, rubidium, and cesium form superoxide. Now, why only these elements form superoxide? Because the superoxide ion O2 2 minus O2 2 minus, the superoxide ion is only stable with the lattice enthalpy of the compound, and the lattice enthalpy of higher the compound, bigger is the lattice enthalpy. So O2 2 minus ion is a very big ion, and it is only stable with the high lattice enthalpy, which is being given by potassium, rubidium, and cesium. Therefore these form superoxide, lithium forms monoxide, and sodium form peroxide. An oxide, monoxide, that is oxide, and the superoxide, they are paramagnetic in nature, that is they are color. But the lithium and sodium oxide, the monoxide and the peroxide, they are diamagnetic, that they are colorless. Also, these alkali metal react with dry air and they tarnish in dry air due to formation of their oxide. They react with oxide, now tarnish खराब हो जाते हैं dry air से react करके. And these oxide formed by these metals, they react with moisture or they react with water to form hydroxide. or simply these metals when they reacted with water they form hydroxide. Lithium hydroxide LiOH, sodium hydroxide NaOH, KOH, and so on. And there's one important thing to remember, that is only lithium and lithium react with nitrogen to form nitride, Li3N. So this is an anomalous property of lithium, very different property, out of the box property of the lithium. Reaction with nitrogen. All other elements, they react with oxygen only, but they do not react with nitrogen. Only lithium reacts with nitrogen. So this is an anomalous property. Now the next is reaction with hydrogen. So all alkali metal react with hydrogen to form metallic hydride. Hydride. Now when I say hydride, it means hydrogen has got a negative charge, because the alkali metal, they are more electropositive than hydrogen. So LiH, NaH, KiH, RBH, CSH. Now these are metallic hydride. They are salt like salt like because Li plus H minus Na plus H minus LiCl NaCl. So they are also called as salt hydride. They are ionic, solid, crystalline, solid, crystalline, solid, and have high melting and boiling point. But lithium hydride, it is covalent. The rest of the hydride, they are ionic, but the lithium hydride is covalent because of the small size of the lithium. Therefore, its polarizing power increases, and smaller the size of cation, higher is the polarizing power. And Fazan rule. Therefore, lithium hydride is covalent. The rest of the hydride is ionic, solid, crystalline, and have high melting and boiling point. Then reaction with ammonia. So all alkali metal, reacts with all alkali metal reacts with all alkali metal reacts with ammonia to give deep blue color, that is conducting in nature, and by conducting in nature, it means it is able to conduct electron, and it is conducting in nature because of or due to ammoniated ammoniated electron. So the electron present in the solution, it absorbs the line, it absorbs the light in the visible range, and then it imparts the blue color by releasing it. So what happens is, that is the metal M plus X plus Y NH3. It gives me M NH3 X plus cation plus E NH3 Y anion. So this is reaction with ammonia, and it is conducting in nature. That means the solution, it is paramagnetic. The solution right now is paramagnetic because it is giving deep blue color, and color is and it's showing color. Therefore, it must have an unpaired electron, the electron that we just wrote, and because of this electron, it shows blue color, and unpaired electron. Therefore, it's paramagnetic. And when it is left to stand or left to stand or left idly, it forms amide. Amide is MnH2. MnH2 is amide. And the next is the concentrated solution. The concentrated solution of this ammonia with the alkali metal, the concentrated solution of this ammonia with alkali metal is brown in color and is diamagnetic. That it does not conduct, it's not, it does not conduct, not of conducting nature. So the reaction with ammonia, and the next is reaction with halogen. Halogen, that is X2. So what are X2? F2, Cl2, Br2, and I2. So the metal M plus X2, that is F2Cl2 Br2, it gives me Mx. You can balance the reaction. So the metallic halide, metallic halide, metallic halide can be prepared by reacting the oxide, hydroxide, and carbonate of alkali metal with appropriate hydrohalic acid, that is HCl, HF, HBr, HI. Those are hydrohalic acid. So the oxide, hydroxide, and carbonate of the alkali metal, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, and cesium, when they are reacted with the appropriate hydrohalic acid, that is HF, HCl, HBr, HI, then it gives me metallic halide. Then it gives metallic halide. And the order of reactivity of halogen, that is F2, Cl2, Br2, and I2, it decreases down the group with the alkali metal. And the metallic halide, it is strong, crystalline, and high melting and boiling point. It is strong, crystalline, and high melting and boiling point. So, so far now we have talked about the general trend in the group, and then we talked about the reaction with oxygen and nitrogen, and then we talked about reaction with hydrogen, and then we talked about reaction with ammonia, and then we talked about reaction with halogens. Now we're going to talk about reaction with oxoacid. Oxoacid. Now what are oxoacid? Oxoacids are the compound in which the acidic proton, that is H plus, is present on hydroxyl group being OH. The acidic proton is present on hydroxyl group, and an oxo group is attached to it, suppose H2CO3. So you can write it as OCOH whole 2. So OH whole 2, the acidic proton, that is the H plus HCO3 minus. So the acidic proton is present on the hydroxyl group, and then the oxo group OC is attached to the same. So it's an oxoacid. Suppose same as H2SO4. This is also an oxoacid. So alkali metal reacts with all the oxoacid. Alkali metal react with all the oxoacid, and the compounds are soluble in water and thermally stable. So first we are going to talk about reaction with carbonic acid H2CO3. So the alkali metal react with H2CO3, that is carbonic acid, to form metal carbonate, that is Li2CO3, Na2CO3, K2CO3, Rb2CO3, and CS2CO3, and also LiHCO3 and NaHCO3 and things like that. So all of them are thermally stable, and the stability increases down the group. Stability increases down the group, that means stability increases as the atomic number of the metal that is being reacted with the carbonic acid increases, the stability increases. Stability, the thermal stability of the carbonate of the alkali metal increases down the group. And the lithium carbonate, it decomposes. Because why it decomposes? Because it's unstable, it decomposes into Li2O plus CO2. It decomposes to Li2O plus CO2 because of the high polarizing power of Li, and hence Li is more stable in monoxide Li2O than it is in the carbonate form. And also this is an anomalous property of lithium, and also the lithium hydrogen carbonate LiHCO3. It does not exist in solid form. It only occurs in liquid form because it is too soluble to be precipitated out by adding the appropriate salt in the preparation of LiSCO3, because it is too soluble, so it does not exist in solid state. And then reaction with sulfate, same, stable, thermal stability increases down the group. All of them are soluble in water. All of them are soluble in water. The thermal stability increases down the group. And another anomalous property of lithium is LiNO3. That is the lithium nitrate. It breaks into Li2O plus NO2 plus O2. It breaks into Li2O, lithium oxide, nitrite, and oxide. But the sodium NaNO3, it breaks into NaNO2 plus O2. The sodium nitrate, it decomposes into sodium nitrite and oxygen. But the lithium nitrate, it decomposes into lithium oxide, nitrite, and oxygen, nitrogen dioxide, and oxygen. So it's also an anomalous property of lithium. So we have talked about the general trend and all the properties that are mentioned in the NCERT.